Please keep in mind, this is videotaped, and this is going to be published on the site of thepeoplespeak.org. After the debate is finished, we're going to tally and make a comparison between your opinion before the debate and whether there is any significant change after the debate. Do you have any questions at this point? Okay, it's an introduction, a song that I believe will put us on track for this debate. Now we have the opening speech of the negative speaker from Sadat Peacekeepers. We have Yara Abdul Ghaffar. You have 4 minutes, Yara.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Yara Abdul Ghaffar. I'm presenting Sadat Peacekeepers chapter, and I'll explain the counting point. So we'll start. In attempting to solve global warming, many have asked whether developed nations, which led on the industrial revolution and are responsible for most of greenhouse gas now in the atmosphere, should bear a greater responsibility for combating global warming. The abroad team say that developed countries are most obligated. We say that high emitters, not developed countries, are most obligated. It doesn't matter whether a country is developing or developed. This is not the factor that obligates a country to take up a higher responsibility for combating climate change. So, the countries that emit the most, whether developing like China and India, or developed like USA and Japan, have a higher responsibility. China is worst contributor to global warming, have equal responsibility. In 2006, China's carbon dioxide emissions surpassed those of the US by 8%. According to the Netherlands Environmental Assistance Agency, making it the largest contributor to global warming now. So, in the era of knowledge regarding the effects of greenhouse emissions on global warming, China has at least an equal responsibility as developed nations to cut emissions. Large states are responsible to lead on climate change. USA, Japan, China, Brazil, Germany are among the most powerful countries in the world. China, India, and Brazil are the most notable developing countries in the world. So we share an equal responsibility as developed nations to lead the leadership role in the respective regions to lead the fight against climate change. Obligations inequality distracts from solving climate change. The idea that some countries are more responsible for causing global warming misses the point. Global warming is a collective global problem that can only be successfully combated if every country puts its wits and resources fully behind resolving the crisis. Blame game also distracts from solving the problem. The idea that some countries are more to blame than others for causing global warming may be true, but it distracts from the main and just cause which is for the world to come together to solve this problem. So at the end we can conclude this in, first, high emitters, not developed countries, are most obligated. Second, large states are responsible to lead on climate change. And the last obligation, equality, blame game, distraction from solving global climate change. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This crossbar is going to last for 2 minutes, starting from now.
At first, I want to say, how will a country, like for example Egypt, which is a developing country, have the same obligation as a country like US?
We are not asking Egypt to have the same obligation as a country like USA. We are asking each country to try to solve the problem. We are concentrating on high emitters, not the developing or developed countries, because we have a developing country like China is emitting CO2 more than the States. How can we blame China?
Now we're going to do the summary speech. Each team will have 2 minutes. We'll start with the affirmative team.
But here we can conclude that the climate change is a very great disaster that we have to face, and that the developed countries have the main responsibility in solving the problem, because they're the main cause of climate change, as we have said before. But why do you think that developed countries should have the high obligation to combat against the climate change? Is it because they don't have any financial troubles? I don't think so, because of course we all know about the economic crisis. But I think the main reason is that the developed countries have more technical solutions, and they have a great influence over other developed countries. And that developing countries always take developed countries as an example in front of them to be like. So, if the developed countries have to work, how can we ask developing countries to work?
Okay, we'll go for the negative rebuttal speech.
Global warming affects all of the countries and all of the people. So we all have to work with this developed and developing countries. Thanks.
It's clear, right? It's clearer now, the argument. Okay, well, it's your turn. Each, you have 2 minutes exactly.
Okay, from the beginning we said that it's not about a country is developing or developed. The factor that obligates a country to take up a higher obligation, not that this country is developing or developed. It's about the carbon dioxide emissions of this country. So, rather countries that emit the most have a higher obligation. A country like China have carbon dioxide emissions even more than the States. So, it should not be held to lower.
We can take questions from the audience.
What's the country that emits the most CO carbon dioxide? And what are the countries that are not affected by the global warming?
Negative team, you're asked to answer. Which country has the highest carbon emission and which country is not affected by climate change?
The emission is China, but there is no country which is not affected by the global warming. All the world is affected by the global warming.
I wanted to ask our affirmative team, why do you think that the USA didn't sign the Kyoto Protocol?
Okay, any other questions from the audience?
Right now we're having an economic crisis. Shall the developed countries care about this crisis or about the environment?
I want to know the percent that Egypt is producing the CO2.
Any other questions? Okay, I need you right now to please fill in. If you have a change of mind or of opinion, I need you to fill in again this and we will tally and announce tomorrow. We would like to end the debate. Thank you for coming, everybody. One of the reasons why we're doing this at SCLS is to tell everybody it starts from us. We should not wait for our governments to do something. It should start with us. It starts here at school. It starts at home. It starts with our local community. Thank you very much for being here today.